Feel the rhythm of the streets, neon lights and neon dreams. Bloody face, they feel no pain when there's so much more to gain. Hunting season, if you will, tell me where'd you rather be? I can hardly see the moon, but we'll get there pretty soon. Trying so hard to release you out of the misery. Hold on to your wishes if you can't hold on to me. Forgive me for letting you down. Forgive me for letting you down again. I guess I'm not strong enough right now. Forgive me for letting you down. Forgive me for letting you down again. I guess I'm not strong enough right now. Oh my
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is your T-shirted historian, and it's time to wake the fuck up, samurai. Because the city's burning. And it looks like we just got some interesting news about One D&D. Haven't clarified everything on it yet, but last I had heard, I had read from Bell of Lost Souls that the WotC had gone ahead and clarified that there would be third-party publishing for One D&D, and now it kind of looks like the trend is, well, apparently that they sent out meeting invites and NDAs to creators, and I don't know what's going on with Wizards of the Coast right now and their One D&D, but may not be a good thing. I don't know. We'll have to see going forward. Ironcaster is kind of browsing through it right now, and there's videos that are up. I hate to go and just pilfer someone else's video just to show it on my stream. reusing content is kind of a big no-no on YouTube. But I will toss a link out to you guys so you can check it out. Hopefully after you watch this. I would hope you'd want to stay tuned in to us at least long enough for us to finish our show before you go and check this out. But who knows? Anyway, here's our panel for today. We got Shanatsky, we got Grim, we got Victor, we got Ironcaster. And here's a link to the video. If you guys want to check it out, hopefully a little bit later, not right this second. But there you go. And hello to everybody out there in the audience. Hey, Nighthawks, good to see you again. And Joseph the Rune Knights, good to see you. Violence solves everything, good to see you. Krampus Jeebus, hey, Krampus.
I like the way he thinks.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, you're not the only one, Violence. Jason Vey was talking on Twitter yesterday, and he was saying that one of the big misconceptions is that player engagement with D&D will drive engagement with other games, and that is simply not the case because, for one thing, the other games don't have the name that D&D does. I guess it's kind of like part of their brand labeling, if you will. It's like if you're wearing Jimmy Choo shoes, you're not likely to go out and try a pair of Adidas because of the name. I guess I don't.
Basically, Metallica started out awesome and then just sold out, has become old and soggy.
Well, yeah, that's pretty true.
Aren't they put out a new album?
I don't care. I don't listen to them anymore anyway. I stopped listening to them after the Black Album. That's how irrelevant Metallica is in my life.
I just heard something the other day that
they stopped being metal a long time ago. And I don't know. Maybe the same thing will happen to D&D. People will, finally say, "Hey, you know what? Fuck this. We're gonna go do something else." But I doubt it. That's not the trend I've seen, or at least Jason Vey has seen. But Jason Vey firmly believes that D&D has to die in order for people to start noticing that there are other games out there. And, damn if I don't try to tell people every single week that, hey, guess what? There are other games out there.
It reminds me of what had happened last year with the fall of Blizzard and the World of Warcraft. For years and years and years, people were always saying, "Oh, when is the next big WoW killer coming along? What's going to be the thing that kills it?" When the thing that actually ultimately I don't want to quite say killed, but the thing that really did the biggest dent in it was themselves. Because after that, people looked around and realized, "Oh crap, there are a lot of other MMOs out here. Wait a minute, what's this? Final Fantasy 14 is a thing?" Cue the meme of, "Did you hear about the?"
Yeah, remember when Asmongold started playing Final Fantasy 14 and the servers crashed?
Yeah.
In my town, there is a company called TSR, the metal company. Yeah.
In my town, there's a scaffolding company called BJ Champion.
In my town, there's an automotive repair place called D&D Motors.
In my town, there's an automotive guy who calls himself the tranny man.
Okay.
I can show you billboards.
But is he in drag or what?
No. For years he's been calling himself the tranny man.
Yeah, I mean that's what they call transmissions, trannies. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And yeah, you're right, Violence. Look at how Games Workshop screwing with Warhammer drove people to check out BattleTech and other games. Yeah, there was like a mass exodus from Games Workshop, but I noticed that they're still going, so it's not like their brand crashed and burned overnight or anything. In fact, that's one of the things we were going to talk about today anyway, was the fact that Henry Cavill, who apparently got shafted out of Superman, because apparently they're going to start a new young Superman series because we really needed that again. But But apparently he's doing a deal with Amazon and Warhammer. So,
Yep. This is kind of the sad part, though. If Henry Cavill wasn't a huge Warhammer fan, they might be SOL, because they've basically killed off all their hardcore audience. And they're basically trying to turn Warhammer into a media company, as far as I can tell. I mean, Warhammer Kids, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
well,
Narrated by David Tennant.
yeah, I still can't believe that one. You children need to go and do this for your loving emperor.
Have you heard of the Necrons, children?
It's like, here are the Dark Eldar. You want to stay away from them, children.
You go to sleep every night. Say your prayers to the Holy God Emperor, or the Dark Eldar will come get you.
Stranger danger, kill the heretic.
Yes.
It's just a bunch
Yeah.
of children raised to be space marines, and then they get their gene seeds, and all of a sudden half the cast is gone.
Yeah, I agree. Violence. Yeah, you don't expect it to collapse completely. Just enough of a crack that others look to alternatives. And that's not saying you wouldn't love to see it completely implode. It's like, yeah, we would too.
That's
I would-
what's happened before. So
Yeah.
Well, Games Workshop in particular is a case where I really wish for it, because unlike other tabletops, I mean, Games Workshop are thieves. Like,
Yes.
blatantly thieves in comparison with some of the other ones. Like, Dungeons & Dragons, yes, heavily inspired by Tolkien, but wasn't like a one-for-one recreation. Meanwhile, Games Workshop, hey, we have this Elric game that we made. And, oh, what's this? This chaos, the symbol for chaos? Yeah, we're just going to take that.
And okay,
ours now.
Snowdub is trying to cancel Baphomet. Just a reminder about old Baphomet.
Sir, I like everybody. Everyone is welcome here. Come on down, sign the contracts. We've got a spot for you here. We don't discriminate. We treat everybody equally down here in hell. This has been your Lord Baphomet telling you, stop playing with dice. Go play with some boobies or something.
No, you gotta go to Hollywood to get the real Baphomet experience in the modern day.
Well, Lord Baphomet's not that kind of demon. He's just, he's just into the sex, the drugs, and the rock and roll part.
I believe they're making a movie based on it. It's called Babylon.
Yes, he does hate Christmas. Imagine that. I don't know about that, Krampus or Jeebus. So far, Harvey Cthulhu is kind of sitting comfortably cased in Doomcock's vault. Baphomet's still running around. So, you tell me. He's scared.
Baphomet, you got some explaining to do.
Last time I saw him, he had a pine tree up his ass.
Yeah. Aren't we really just cruising for a second gaming crash like in the 90s? Well,
what was that a crash?
yeah, I mean,
So the tail end of second edition was when there was a 90s boom in alternatives to D&D. For a while there, Vampire and I think Mage outsold D&D. Third edition brought D&D back.
Yeah.
Fourth edition killed it again, and Pathfinder took over. Pathfinder stumbled and folded as fifth edition has been popular. And looking at this open D&D tag, it just seems like a delayed reaction to them being a bit wishy-washy on whether there'd be an OGL or not. So, yeah, we discussed this, last week?
yeah, a little bit.
The week before.
The week before that,
before
that.
It's just this whole talk to third-party publishers under an NDA seems to be what set it all off again. So, I don't know.
Yeah. But my understanding, and believe me, I've been fighting on Twitter for 2 fucking days about OGL. according to Bell of Lost Souls, an article that they put out just a couple of days ago, as far as we know, yeah, the One D&D is going to have third-party publishing. Although what the terms are going to be, we don't know yet, because One D&D isn't even going to be released until what, 2024. So
Yeah. They might do what they did.
8th anniversary.
Yeah.
They might do what they did last time, which was leave a delay before the OGL came out, so that they had a window to publish everything, and then allow people to come in later on. And the OGL for 5th edition is woefully incomplete compared to the 3rd edition one.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be what they do, and maybe they'll move back towards the what was it, GSL that they had under 4th edition, which was more restrictive. But you can't revoke the OGL, so.
Wait. The 90s was the death of Palladium. I'm sorry, Joe, but 1991 was when Rifts was released, which is arguably probably Palladium's best-selling game.
I think he probably meant that, like, by the end of the 90s, they were done.
Yeah.
Like, along with most of the old school guys were done at that time.
Yeah, probably.
So I was curious about the OGL, like the 1D&D OGL, considering they're doing stuff like changing race to species and all these other ideological tweaks to the game. Can they codify that in the OGL? You think will you be forced as a third party creator to basically follow along?
They can codify D's.
No. So if they have a GSL, which is a more restrictive license. They can specify in that in order to, put 5e compatible or 1D&D compatible or whatever on the cover, they could say that you have to meet all these criteria to do that. Mm-hmm. But as far as the OGL, they can't really do much of anything. So, I mean, no one has to worry about D&D in some form going away. You can't take away the open forms of D&D. And if they fuck this up, people will just go to Pathfinder or keep playing 5th edition and publish new versions of 5th edition.
Yep.
Yeah, just like they did before. So
or keep playing OSR.
Or another company makes another game that takes off.
Yeah.
We have, whichever that one is.
Yeah.
WotC chases that to follow the trend.
Well, I don't know. They never managed to chase the vampire White Wolf trend. That just kind of blew up on its own and burned out on its own, I guess. But
I don't know. Planescape and Dark Sun were kind of chasing the darker, more roleplay heavy trend. So was Dragonlance, really. In fact, you can blame Dragonlance for the more roleplay heavy way of playing if you choose or celebrate.
Yeah, and of course Planescape is coming out on the release next year, so I'm curious to see how badly they mangle that one.
That one just baffles me. Why would they be dropping one of the arguably one of their bigger settings just in time for the edition to die?
Yeah.
But then again, I suppose considering how they basically drop a thing and then they move on, it doesn't surprise me.
At the very least, it just kind of keeps the name hot.
I'm just happy they haven't done Dark Sun this time.
Yeah. I don't know how they could.
No.
It just seems like it would be too problematic.
Yeah.
It would be slightly Grey Sun.
Yeah. The Grace.
It would be Dick Grayson.
Yes.
I hate how they've changed the Drow. It's like, come on, they were just supposed to be fucking evil. They're an evil race of people. Drizzt was supposed to be the exception. That's what made him an interesting character.
Yeah, well, he's not the exception anymore. Apparently, he's the norm. It's just all those other weirdos and Menzo Berenson that are all spider-worshipping evil scumbags.
Well, if he's just a normal guy, there's no reason to read all the 20 books about him, so... sorry, Wizard of the Coast.
It's funny, actually. One of my friends is reading, or I should say trying to read The Legacy by R.A. Salvatore, and his comment on it was just like, man, I just can't get through this. I'm in the 2nd chapter, and it is just so fucking boring. I'm like,
My
I just
co-authors...
did
Go ahead.
I had just gone and done the Drizzt trilogy, the like Homelands, the original ones. That one's all right. I definitely see why people like the character so much. I can't imagine going through another 30 novels of it.
Yeah, he definitely has had probably too many books, but you cannot deny the character's freaking popular.
Well, he was cool at the time. Okay, Joseph McKeever, yeah, you're deeply amused every time some mouth breather tries to argue the OSR is somehow magically illegal. Yeah, that's exactly the argument I've been embroiled with the last 2 days over. And if it wasn't somebody I really cared about on some level, I probably would have just said, you know what, fuck you, and mute. But I do kind of like this person on some vaguely psychotic, masochistic level, despite the fact that all they really seem to do is try to make me look stupid on Twitter, which ain't hard because I ain't the smartest guy out there. But
Oh, well, you guys, man.
thank you.
I'm drinking Goldschlager.
Oh, hey, good stuff. Are there actual pieces of gold in that?
There are, and apparently they're completely inert and don't affect you in any way, but I'm still icky about actually swallowing them.
Do you realize that means that at some point in time, if you drank enough of that, you would take a gold-plated shit?
That's right.
Yep.
I should gold.
You do. Sparkly poop. Unicorn poop.
Do.
But Cal stuff
Sparkly
says
poop.
the O5R will ascend.
Yep.
Yes, the O5R will ascend. But yeah, I mean, okay, so getting back to this fucking argument that I've been having for 2 days with somebody, the OSR somehow being magically illegal. It's not. But let's say somehow, hypothetically, for reasons beyond insanity, that, you know, Hasbro's legal team just decided all of a sudden, hey, we're going to fuck everybody and completely try to rescind the OGL in its entirely, and all licenses and everything like that completely revoked and off the shelf and everything else, right? Just totally pull the rug out from under everybody's ass. First off, that would be a dumbass thing to do because that would directly hurt their own sales because they profit from Dungeon Masters Guild, which is third-party publishing. So that would come to an end. So that would affect their own revenue because I think DM's Guild takes like 40% cut, 50% cut,
Something like that.
Might even be 60.
If you're non-exclusive, drive-through takes 35, I think, and then they take 5 or 10% on top of that. I can't remember what. Probably 10%.
Mm-hmm. And a chunk of that goes to line Wizards of the Coast pockets. So it would affect their own revenue stream. Second, all these third-party publishers, and some of them are big. I mean, you got Paizo. I'm not sure about how big Autarkus is or some of these other people. But there's enough of them out there. What?
Frog God.
Frog God's pretty big. I'm pretty sure Troll Lord is big enough that they could bring suits up against Hasbro for that. And even if Hasbro...
A lot of them could just go and pull together for class action with all of them, plus all of the little independents.
Yeah. Yeah, and even if Hasbro did manage to win that suit, that would further drive their costs up, which would make them more loss in profit.
Hasbro would not be happy.
Hasbro would not be happy. Papa Hasbro. Pimping out WotC.
The OGL was based on and derived from open software licensing, so it would also threaten things like Linux and so on. So you could have quite a lot of tech companies probably would be invested in fighting such a ruling as well.
Mm-hmm. Another thing it would do is let's say they won. All the companies that do actually do OGL products or OSR products and still have stock, it could simply turn around, go to eBay and say, hey, look, we're not allowed to sell these anymore, so we're auctioning these all off, and they could make a nice tidy profit off of that because suddenly there's a scarcity since there ain't going to be printed anymore. And then on top of that, it's like if those companies still wanted to continue to publish gaming material, they have their original IPs, their own worlds, and everything that they built. All they got to do is slightly alter their systems to where they're not in any kind of competition or not any kind of bullshit with Wizards of the Coast, or they could retool their systems to work with other gaming systems like Chaosium's system or Savage Worlds, and just continue to shuffle right on doing their thing, probably making new sales and new customers.
And lest we forget, there were third-party publishing even before there was such a thing as an OGL, and there was a court case around that, and that's how we know that you can't copyright the systems, and you're allowed to publish things that are compatible with systems. I mean, games magazines used to do that all the time. There's nothing against it.
Yeah, Nintendo lost that court case in the 80s. And they got sued class action lawsuit by developers because Nintendo tried to say no one can make games for Nintendo unless it's first party. Whatever.
Yeah.
Got double
And in
licensing.
video games that happened too. Like there was a discovery that surprised there are particular genres of games. Just if you can't have press A to jump as something copyrighted.
On a similar tangent, and I hate to tangent because we do this a lot, but you remember a few years ago how EA and all these other companies got in trouble for the loot box / surprise mechanics in their games?
Yes.
Yep.
I kind of wonder how come nobody's ever taken Wizards of the Coast's Magic the Gathering to task over that for their card packs.
They did.
Yeah.
I think that has happened. Same thing with Pokemon.
Back in the 90s.
Guy that sued Pokemon.
Did they?
Gambling.
Yes.
What happened with that?
My understanding is it went before. This was years and years ago, so forgive me. It wound up getting brought up to in Congress at some point, but I think it was eventually dropped. But no. This is something I've been wondering about for a while. If people really want to push this and push legislation about this stuff, what happens when people look and remember that trading card games exist? When people start to realize, Pokemon has a card game with randomized packs here. Is this a form of gambling? If they pass laws about the digital, why not the physical?
Right. So I kind of wonder, is this really like the can of shit that Wizards of the Coast Hasbro wants to open and unleash, because that's what would happen
if they think it will make them money. That's the whole thing, because these people don't think about morals. They think about terms of what's going to get them the ball in. And if they have some guy that's pointing to all these charts and go, yeah, we can monetize these groups of people for X, Y, and Z.
Well,
but we have to get rid of the OGL and all these other things.
Well,
they're
okay,
going to
Joe.
go through with it.
Joe, okay, yeah, Magic the Gathering was different at that time because it was physical media, whereas digital media is literally giving money for nothing. Yeah, which kind of calls into question Arena, because is that not like completely using digital currency for digital cards?
I think people are jumping the gun a bit. I expect there will be some form of OGL. They might try and move back towards a GSL license alongside it, but you can't revoke it. I think the OGGM was right when he said, look, the money is not in the game. It's in the stuff around the game. It's in the intellectual property. It's in farming Dungeons and Dragons, like has happened in comics, for films and TV series and lifestyle items and cartoons and things like that. There's a lot more money in that than there is in nickel and diming gamers.
In fact, when Wizards of the Coast did the Fireside Chat, they had gone and listed the 4 pillars of what they valued were the movies, the video games, the lifestyle brand, which was the merchandise, and the online stuff that they could microtransaction. It wasn't even the game. The game did not even count on that list.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's like I pointed out a few times on Twitter. If you want to buy core books for Magic Together, or not for D&D, they discount them all the time. Right now, you can get online with Amazon. You can buy all 3 core books, foil, with a box to hold them all, and a GM screen, $85.99. Free shipping if you're Prime member. So obviously, they're selling the books almost at cost. So they don't care about that as much. But you were saying, Graham?
I think it's a no-brainer that they're going to try and follow sort of Apple's walled garden thing for online play. They're going to have their online store where you can buy digital versions of the products. They're going to have their own virtual gaming table that you can play and that you probably have to buy stuff for. The problem with gaming has always been monetizing people other than the games master.
Yes.
Which is why you see things like players' guides and character books and stuff. That's us as designers trying to find things that players will buy rather than just the GM, because you're only selling to 1/4, maybe 1/6, maybe of gamers when you're selling core books and adventures and so on, and that's just it doesn't work. But I think a lot depends on whether it's the games designers and the people that understand the quirks of the industry and so on that are making the decisions, or whether it's a suit. They could make the same mistakes. I mean, lest we forget, 4th edition was meant to have an online virtual tabletop, and they launched a social media site that didn't go anywhere in the end. And a lot of the stuff that we've seen for 5th edition started out with 4th edition online character generators and things like that. So they might try all that again, but hopefully they've learned something from the failure of 4th edition.
Yeah, if I remember right, for years back when we were playing Pathfinder 1st edition, people were talking about how Paizo was trying to make an online Pathfinder game where people could, create their own shit and everything else, and that never materialized. I forget what the exact reasoning behind it was. Maybe it was too costly or something. But
the culture for it wasn't really there back then. Like the whole online thing, social media thing wasn't quite as big at the time. Like, people were mostly just hanging on fucking AIM Messenger, AOL Instant Messenger and stuff like that. They weren't really doing the Twitter thing yet. Facebook wasn't really a thing. Like, MySpace was only just becoming like a thing. So
my understanding is it would have been something like Second Life, if you know that system.
Yeah. D&D Online for a long time.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know much about it. But on the subject of loot boxes, like you were saying, 4th edition is the one that introduced. I think they introduced those miniature packs where you would, they would have the pre-painted miniatures, and you didn't know which ones you were going to get. It was just totally random, kind of like Hero Clicks or whatever. And
yeah. And
I think they actually designed the game around the thought that they could sell the miniatures, because you had to have miniatures to play effectively.
Yeah, and they had those randomized cards for Gamma World 4th edition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you, Snortopoopus.
Yes.
I can't wait to see them adding DLC to D&D. That's going to be hilarious.
Well, I mean, technically, every time they drop a setting book, that's what it is.
Well, yeah, but they'll start doing that for races if they have really that online component.
It's just
I'm
finding it kind of sweet the way all the new 5e players are all running around with their heads on fire.
Yeah, they're gonna nickel and dime for sure. With go ahead.
It's called 5th edition. That means there were 4 others beforehand. You know what comes after 5th edition? 6th edition.
Oh no, we live in.
Oh no!
There's people going, oh, we put in all this work to get rid of gatekeeping, and now Wizards is going to change the edition and hide it all behind money and get rid of the OGL. And
So I think I have a preview.
I was about to say, well, hang on a minute. We live in an age of firsts, remember? You know, it's like the first female hero didn't happen until, Katniss, and, the first Asian hero didn't get on screen until Simu Liu did Shang-Chi, and the first black superhero didn't
Continue
exist
this
until...
conversation without drink.
We're in such an age of firsts. Nothing happened before 2020.
Yeah, this is the first drink I've ever had.
It's the first drink you've ever had.
The first openly gay character in a Disney movie.
Oh no!
And remember, this was all started by Jennifer Lawrence.
Yep.
Yes, right.
The
first ready for the one D&D experience.
Are you shitting me? This is what they're trying to put out?
No. This is a fan mock-up. I found it.
Oh, this is probably true though.
Yes.
Oh, y'all doing this right now?
Oh yeah, we're hopping in there, guard, bro.
Well,
we're jumping in there.
Yesterday, me and Nick Beardy did a thing on this, and it's y'all said it's a fan mock-up, but it's going to be true though. They're going to try and do like microtransactions for loot, and probably if you want to be a tiefling, got to buy the tiefling pack or not a real tiefling.
Oh god, can you imagine pre-order bonuses?
Like me and Nick Beardy said, if you want to try and generate, because they're kind of pissed about the lack of revenue being generated because everyone keeps pirating their shit. Like when you think about it, how many folks are actually buying these D&D books, not just getting a PDF from 4chan? It's very, very few.
Just you wait. They're going to have something like the old school pack, $14.99, and you'll get a special character sheet where it says race instead of species.
Yeah. And the first 200 people to buy in get a free Minsk skin with Boo.
That's gonna be stuff
Minsk
like
is popular.
It's gonna be stuff you get like new tiefling horns and tail styles for like $4.99, stuff like that.
Well, the only way they can do that is if they do a completely digital game. Like, unless you can log into D&D Beyond or D&D ONE or what have you, and have it to where your entire game is digital, in which you have digital avatar, which is your character, and your DM logs on DMs via the kind of like the Forge, how they have like you can log in and play the thing. But that's the only way they can do that. They have to control the avenues the players get into. You think they would expand into more of the lifestyle shit, like where's that fucking keychain I have? I actually bought a keychain from these guys because you think the more they could sell things for their players in a physical means. Because if you think about it, D&D or any RPG is not a physical format for a game. You don't actually own anything. You're playing pretend.
I can't wait until Wizards of the Coast cut some kind of a cross platforming deal with Bad Dragon, and they come out with officially licensed dildos and vaginas.
Hey, I'm just saying a Victoria body
with a
pillow
special
would be
code
something
for
I'd be
the digital
tempted to get.
version.
That's all I'm saying.
That Tiamat puss got me acting strange, players. I'm sorry, I gotta quit today.
So
Try the Asmodeus.
Short pussy? Nice.
I need to I need to start up an Iris dildo empire before.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, you know plenty of furries, Greg. So
Drakenveer tongue.
Butt plugs with big bloodshot monster eyes on them, because then beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
The eye of the beholder.
Behold her, yeah.
You turn the entire druid class into a furry subsect, and you start selling druid suits. There you go.
Can you imagine the mind flayer tentacle? The mind flayer tentacle pussy probe.
Well,
the mind flayer mouth.
Now, hold on, you'll laugh, but on the Still Water campaign that me and Nick Beardy did, we have like Belle Delphine dildos in the back, like the Behold Her, the Orchid, it's all these special dildos. But you think they would capitalize on shit like this? Like I thought it was funny, so I bought it. It's like, I guess I'll die then, than that one. And this is a physical thing a player can have to show, oh yeah, I play D&D, I die by that one, But they said they're going to try and do this digital format thing.
Well, see, they'll have shit like that, but the thing is, like, I was almost inclined to say that they don't have the talent or the manpower anymore to do like a full digital platform. But then I think of Magic the Gathering Arena, which is very successful and it's very slick. Go ahead.
I was just say I rolled in that one, and all I got was killed by a dragon.
Oh yeah. Well, Magic the Gathering Arena is an extremely successful, accurate, fun, slick, stylish. Like it's got all the bells and whistles recreation of the tabletop game, even though it is limited in that it's only got certain sets. It doesn't go all the way back to the past, but they could do that for D&D. I think, like, imagine jumping into a random game of D&D. You're assigned a character, you have your own character, and I feel like they possibly could pull it off, but it will be weird.
Yeah.
I think one thing, mark my words, is going to happen. If they do not buy Hero Forge itself, and they've got enough money, if they could find the profitability in it. But if they don't buy Hero Forge, they will set up some kind of a competing miniature production company / facility or whatever like that to tie in with their 2024 digital game stuff. And you will actually be able to create, you're already going to be able to create your character for their digital platform. So then you'll just be able to take those files and either, get an STL to print up your own character, or you'll be able to use their service via Hero Forge or whatever like that to 3D print a character for yourself. I just mark me, it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they had a single smart vein in their body, which they don't, let's be honest, they would just make a completely digital format, and it would allow them to control this monetary zone they're trying to get into. There's no way to properly monetize a game where you can simply download or steal a PDF. There's nothing they can do about it. Pen and paper is the most hackable, piratable thing on our planet. And if they want to truly own this game like they want to, they can charge you microtransactions and charge you, make your tiefling's breast bigger. I don't know. They have to do it purely via a digital means by making a D&D 1 online game, which would be like Baldur's Gate, I guess, where you have a little avatar at third person or some shit, and you click buttons for your actions. It may actually help D&D players to learn their fucking game, for all I fucking know. Like, it'd be a rare thing. Like, oh, yeah, that's how I play that game.
Well, not only the go ahead, say.
I have a horrible thought occurred to me as you were saying this, Card Bro. With as much as WotC has been bending the knee or breaking their knees, bending them lately.
They have knees left?
Yeah. Yep. Imagine whenever they go fully digital for D&D 1 and they invent a social credit score system for their. No, I'm serious. I wish I was kidding, but I'll bet you that as far as running game events online or for cons or whatever like that, they will have some kind of a social credit score where you will be rated, and depending on that social credit score, you will either have access to free gear, better gear, or whatever. They'll have some kind of an incentive based social credit score system. I shudder in horror to think of that.
I disagree.
Well, they will be able to control people's games too, because mark my words, there's gonna be an instance where somebody who's GMing a game gets banned from the platform because the players complained that he did the whole your Vistani can't enter the village because the Vistani thing, something like that, and they're gonna get reported, and Wizards of the Coast is gonna kick them off for racism.
I don't think it's gonna go that far. I think it's gonna be like every other game that they've ever done. They're going to have a season pass. If you're a DM,
a battle pass.
You can buy a Dungeon Master battle pass for $19.99 a month. That gives you access to all this stuff, and it makes you have priority when you're hosting your games, and you can stream, and you can maybe even get monetized and do this. They're gonna have tiers, you can be a platinum tier, gold tier, silver tier.
Just like Critical Role.
It's gonna be very regimented. I don't think they would do any kind of social credit thing. I feel like they're just gonna do standard battle pass. World of Warcraft has a collector's edition. You'll be able to buy a collector's upgrade to your account that will give you access to new features.
That would be with a copy of the game.
But that wouldn't. Well, let me get this before I lose this thought, Grim. Here's the thing. I would like it to go that way, Greg, but if you look at BattleNet, the amount of hoops that they make new players jump through to create accounts, as far as like getting their real names, telephone numbers, ID, all this other bullshit.
Semen sample.
Yeah, semen sample, genetic, genetic swab, whatever.
Who was your grandpa? Tell us now.
Yeah. Did you support the Communist Party? You know,
he fights ones of war.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous, but I mean, look at the hoops that they're making people jump through on BattleNet to play Overwatch 2. Okay? And this is only 2022. In 2 more years, who knows how bad it's going to be by the time they get to release.
Oh, I'll tell you how bad it'll get. They'll eventually release their competition to OnlyFans. Dungeons and Drag Queens.
Oh, God.
Only horns, yeah.
I think it is concerning that you could potentially be effectively banned from playing D&D. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it goes to primarily online, and we already know all the issues that affect online games, like mass flagging, reporting, so on.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the chilling effect going to be? Am I even going to be able to run a horror game or an age-gated game on their system? And if I do, is it going to be safe for me to do so, or is someone going to report me for running what was explicitly listed as a horror game with adult themes? Is that going to happen? It's
Definitely.
Yeah, they can decide what goes on their system. Then
the D&D 5e tribunal. Imagine.
Yeah. And if that
something along the lines of what we're going to get is, something like an Adventurers League or the Pathfinder League, where it's like, oh, Tuesday nights we want to do this. Everyone logs in with their little account number, and then you get points added onto your account, which of course we can always take away if you do wrong thing.
Yeah.
And then you get digital rewards if you save up 1,000 of them or something. Like, oh, here's a module.
Yeah.
I look at how restrictive conventions have become and why I don't want to go to them so much anymore. And, game clubs and game store games, how restrictive all of that is. And you want to replicate that in an online environment?
I remember I was at a con in Denver, and they had those all-gender bathrooms. When you walk in, if you're in a kilt, you walk into this all-gender bathroom, and you scare the piss out of 5 girls. It's like, yeah, probably I'm taking a shit. You kick open that fucking stall, that thing will empty out immediately, dude.
Wow.
Like they thought you're gonna leave. No, I'm taking a shit. And I kicked open that stall, and they all fucking fled. Like, this is equality, baby. Here we go. Time to smell the fumes.
Smell the guard, bro. I fought for your fucking country.
There was one fucking
works for.
There was one boss ass bitch though in the stall next to me who was like, she was chatting with me the entire time. She was, "Hey, you pooping too?" And I was like, "Yeah." How's yours going? Not great.
Green Dragon has a good point here too. Green Dragon, you are so awesome, man.
Fist bump through the glory hole.
Yeah. Yeah, Green Dragon has a good point here. This is imagine ranking lists of players. Yeah, imagine that. Okay, even if they don't go as far as something crazy like a social credit score and everything else, it's pretty obvious that D&D ONE, that one of the things that they're going to want to do is create a lot of, like digital club / private environment type stuff for, Yeah.
They're going to have guilds.
Yeah.
They're probably going to have guilds.
They're going to have guilds, but they'll also have what's the word I'm looking? Not shaming, but shunning. They'll have online shunning.
Man,
I burned down 7 organisms.
Well, I hate to defend Wizards of the Coast. I'm not defending them. I think they're trash, but I just can't think of another game or any other company that's like doing anything like that. I don't think they'll go down that route.
Mm-hmm. You know what? We might want to stop because they might actually listen to this and go, "That's what we should do."
They might.
They're so incompetent. They couldn't.
Like not even Blizzard Entertainment or EA. Like none of those guys would think of doing anything like that.
Well, I mean, and I'm a tiny streamer. I've only got I'm not even monetized yet. I don't even have 1,000 subs, so I really doubt they give a shit what I say or what we say here. I mean,
Well, they already do things like this. Some of these companies, like if other players downvote you, you can end up in a sort of gulag with other mean, nasty players, and it can be hard to get out of. You can type things and not have them appear at the other end because they've intercepted that you said the naughty no words.
Shadow ban.
I burned down those orphanages in self-defense.
Who was the guy we were talking about last week? Who did the UK Games Expo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Where's that guy now?
Don't know.
Yeah, see?
Or even worse, you just have a falling out with some people. Someone decides to get vengeance on you by getting them and their friends to give feedback that you're like a horrible racist or some other shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
On Twitter.
It is going to be cyberbullying in a different realm now.
I would be like, how would they know? They've never been on Discord with me.
Yeah.
Don't say they won't do it, because some of these fuckers have been on me for a decade.
Brett Cohen brings up something. Yeah, universities are now doing things like this. Yes, they are.
Yeah, I remember last year when I was following Vinger and Vinger did his thing. Like, I got swamped by all these people who are like, you need to stop following Vinger right now or else I'm gonna I was like, shut up, dude, and fuck off.
Don't you value their opinion, man? No, you don't know them. You gotta value their opinion, man.
Yeah,
they're just like you, man.
I'll follow Venger, and I don't negotiate with terrorists. I'm sorry.
Remember, when you think someone couldn't possibly be that petty, no, they can, and they'll be even pettier.
And they're always, they're always some kind of danger hair too.
No, see, that's when you say no, and then you unfollow them instead.
Yeah.
I'm some kind of a crazy masochist because it's like the second somebody starts telling me don't follow this person, don't listen to this person, that just makes me want to engage with them even more. And then there's Varg Vikernes, and I'm I'm not sure.
He was following us on Twitter before he got banned.
He was following me on Twitter.
So, say I saw Brian James post something, and literally I go out of my way to piss in the all gender bathrooms, see what's going on in there, and usually like I think my favorite moment that made me like go fucking hell, I backed out of the bathroom was there's some cute chick running around in a cosplay I couldn't really name. I didn't realize it was an Astelfo cosplay to start off with. All right. And I walk in, and this girl is straddling the urinal. I'm like, "What the fuck?" You back out of there because you don't expect that shit. But like, it seems more like the more I do it, the more I realize that if there are girls in there, they expect you to leave. Like as if they somehow like claim the space. This is our toilet. The fuck it is. This is our toilet. Communism.
Smell my deuce.
We peed on it. We marked it as our territory now.
Ask her if you can borrow some toilet paper.
Yeah, the biggest argument, or actually the biggest thing I could always tell a girl about not wanting to use the men's urinals or co-op bathrooms would be like, make sure you tie your shoelaces before you walk in there because we miss.
Yeah. But here's the thing, ladies: we can aim, we just choose not to.
Here's the thing about it.
When you're so drunk, you can't hit the urinal even if you try.
I used to be a janitor at Walmart, and here's how it go. Men make the most messes, but women will make the worst ones.
Yes, I cleaned out bathrooms for a while for a living, and when I got to the women's things, is I had to empty those little boxes that they don't tell you about, and it's not always. It's not always tampons in those things, guys.
I started calling the nasty box.
Yeah, believe me, when I wrote the two gongs entry for Whitechester for Grimm.
Speaking from experience.
I was speaking from experience. I was drawing on some of my memories of having to work those things and thinking about the kind of shit that was in those things, and then multiplying it by medieval peasant.
Well, just go to a furry convention. You'll have a communal diaper disposal.
Oh.
Thanks, Nightmare Man. I'm asleep later.
The nappy bin. The nappy bin. The nappy bin.
No matter how nasty you get, there's always a furry.
There's always a fucking furry somewhere. Ooh woo, shits and diaper. Like, God damn it, get out of here.
I don't have a problem with furries. It's just, they're not just my thing.
Just don't touch me.
Make them all bad.
Don't come within smelling distance.
Yeah, I don't like when somebody follows me on Twitter and they have like a furry, like obviously a furry thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, what a nice person. They really like my shit. And then I click on their thing and it's like, I scroll down and I'm like, oh my God.
Unfollow me. Unfollow me right now. I swear to God.
In a world where one man has to take a dump.
It's just fan art of your dragonborn race in a diaper.
Yeah.
Imagine like the D&D 5e fucking one. Like the D&D 5e furry pack. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, wow. Hey,
Poor
that's
David. David
that
right
Boba
here
Fett.
is,
I mean,
he's entered a world.
there are
One
furry
man.
races in 5e, so yeah.
In a world of furries.
It's also stupid
now
they're
one
calling
man.
it D&D ONE because it's just going to get confusing when they have the next version come out.
All right, let Greg do his narrator voice thing.
No, I'm done.
Oh, damn it.
I was just talking about poor David.
Have you all touched on Henry Cavill yet?
Briefly, it's
Not yet.
How
we
can
kind of
one
did.
man be so based?
Yeah, I don't know what to do. Well, I mean, okay, I have mixed feelings about this, and I'm really conflicted. I'm just gonna say it. Okay, he's like, I like James Gunn. I like his movies. I really love Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. I thought that Suicide Squad was funny as fuck. Peacemaker, the first episode, I nearly pissed myself laughing so hard because it was just the funniest fucking thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
So I like James Gunn. I think it's cool that James Gunn is getting to do the DC thing, but at the same time, him, chasing out Henry Cavill because they want to do a young Superman thing again. It's just kind of like, why?
Did you see the thing though? Did you see the podcast leak where?
No, I didn't.
I guess somebody. This could be fake. It might be fake, but somebody spilled the beans about what Cavill is actually like, and like
What?
Netflix fired him because he's just like a fucking Chad bro, apparently.
What?
He didn't get fired. He left.
He's probably a Chad bro compared to the people that work on The Witcher, though. Like,
Well, they're saying like apparently he's so obsessed with addicted to video games. He's like comes in late. He's distracted. Like he doesn't know what's going on the set. And like he's using all this like QAnon, like 4chan, like talk on the set, and people are like getting irritated. I don't know.
Sorry, guys, I was playing hentai games till 2 a.m. What were we doing today?
Yeah.
God damn it, Cavill!
Well, wait. They're trying
We're
to get
like-
us to hate him with these statements. If
I know,
anything,
right?
it's the opposite.
That just makes us love him that much more.
Yeah. He's like, if there was a Giga Chad movie, he would be the main character. But anyway,
Can you see Henry Cavill coming in into the set? It's like, sorry everyone, here I look at the size of the cock on this Futanari I unlocked yesterday. Look at that. She's got a knob bigger than mine.
Well, again, this is compared to the Danger House that actually like all the writer staff and all that stuff. So he probably said something like mild. He probably disagreed with somebody, and then they just like branded him old white.
We know he was pissed off because he was a fan of The Witcher, and they kept
Yeah.
digging with it. So he's not going to be enthusiastic if you keep fucking with things.
Well, he was also really into like trying to correct them about The Witcher. So if anything, it sounds like what happened was he was playing The Witcher games a lot while they were making The Witcher, and he was saying, "No, you guys are fucking this up. You're getting this stuff wrong here. We got to make sure we actually give Roach a proper like moment to mourn the fucking horse's death."
yeah. So the complaint.
Well, go ahead.
Oh no! Well, the complaint continues to allege by this person who is on this podcast. Now you can kind of read between the lines there, but basically, this person is complaining that any type of woman showrunner Henry Cavill had a problem with, and if there was a woman in charge, he would try and overwrite them at any point, and he would rewrite scenes without alerting the other actors until it was time to shoot. and he decided that he didn't want any romantic scenes at all, with no kissing, and that he wanted complete control of the storyline, and blah blah blah. And so Netflix got tired of him like interfering, and that's why they asked him. They gave him one final warning, and he violated, that type of stuff. But you can kind of read between the lines and like, okay, this could be some bullshit here.
This is what I have a really hard time wrapping my head around with people, right? Whenever you criticize a person from a protected class, right? They always make it about them being of that protected class.
The victim.
It's as if they think like, it's as if they think like women aren't capable of being shit at their jobs, just like men are, right? Or horrible to work with, or any of these other things. If you take an issue with them, it's got to be because of their gender, sexuality, or whatever else. Not that they're just shit at their job.
Oh, and speaking of which, Rings of Power apparently doubled down for season 2 because they hired an all-female, writing crew for that one.
Like they doubled down on purpose.
Well, as long as they're hardcore Tolkienites and Lord of the Rings fans, I don't care.
Oh,
but they didn't hire those.
But
they didn't.
They're not. Yeah.
Are there even any females that are that? I've never met one.
I don't know, but I mean, just imagine the She-Hulk writers writing Rings of Power.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't. They can't because they got canceled. They got like, no, you're done. Like they twerked that whole show to the grave. Really, is what they did.
The Ghostbusters 2016 of Tolkien.
You know what?
Brett Cohen said Gamergate.
Oh, don't get me started today.
Gamergate. Oh, apparently it's trending. By the way,
it's trending again.
Again?
Gamergate.
It's because of Sarkeesian. Every time she becomes irrelevant, she says Gamergate and tries to get.
She popped up. Okay, fine. I'm going off. She popped up.
No, hold on. One thing before you do.
That's it. I'm going off. Fuck it. Here I go.
Yeah.
That Rings of Power is Jeff Bezos' jobs program for women. That's what Rings of Power is.
Okay, Sarkeesian popped up looking rather fat, I must say.
And dressed like a side bitch from Goodfellas.
Yeah, complete with some kind of weird rockabilly haircut. Anyway, she popped up saying, "Oh, I wish we could just stop talking about Gamergate. No fuckers talking about Gamergate except you, love."
Yeah.
And then some wanker turns up in my mentions with a communist flag avatar, left shaming me, saying he's doing a documentary on Gamergate, right? But he hasn't even heard of the Society of Professional Journalism or anything. He's just regurgitating the standard corporate line. It's like
the talking point.
You say you are a communist, and yet you're supporting games corporations and corporate media. Do you even know what that means?
You say you're a communist. You say you're communist. You're all fucking overweight and shit. You worked a day in your life.
Yeah.
Bah. Hey guys, what's an actual gulag? And they get fucking thrown in. It was me it all along.
I saw that the guy you quote tweeted about why he was lying about the origin of literally who.
Yeah.
It's like no, I was there. I saw how it came about.
It came up because we didn't want to talk about these people.
No.
Dude, I was following the thing when she fucking retweeted child porn. I'm like, God damn. I've never felt more disgusted from anything I've seen on Twitter. When
the term rumors anti-LGBTQ. Fucking excuse me.
I was finally starting to feel comfortable saying CP 2020 and CP 2077. Now I can't anymore.
Yeah, 2077 is when you get out of jail for CP.
Yeah, in 2020.
I think the first time Guard came on the stream here, he said, "Can we not call it that?"
Yeah.
He did.
Stop calling it control point. Stop.
Okay, we'll start calling it Map 2077.
Oh. Excuse me, Grim. Sorry. At Gerald. There we go.
I love Fat Gerald.
Yes. Every time somebody comes up with one from out of the blue, man, it's like Fat Gerald hitting you and mashing your face right into that garage door.
Well, that reminds me, because Gerald and then Henry Cavill. Do we really need another young Superman? Like, nobody's interested in that. We've seen his origin story 600 million times. I want to see Superman at the height of his powers, doing Superman at the height of his powers shit, flying around Metropolis and fucking being cool. Like, I don't need to see another Smallville Superman.
I do agree with you, Victor, but the problem is, like, they have so much baggage from all of the Snyderverse stuff and all that. We have like 10 years of nonsense. Where the fuck is this timeline going? What are we doing? All this stuff, we don't know what's going on with it. They need a hard reset. And
yeah, but you can see that
really needs to be the face of that.
Basically,
Jesus Christ.
just do Christopher Reeve's Superman, but with like a new guy.
Properly.
Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
He was great. It's just that film was rubbish.
Yeah, lifting an entire island of kryptonite. Because
he was a fantastic Superman. He really got it, and he managed to bring Christopher Reeve back to life, which was amazing. But that whole thing was just no.
Well, my point is, you can do a reboot without showing his upbringing in fucking Smallville again. You can do a reboot with just an adult Superman doing adult Superman stuff.
Well, I really am shocked.
Remember when we used to actually just get the origin in the first 3 minutes of the movie, and then the rest of the movie was them actually being that superhero? Now it's like every movie is about the character becoming the character. And the next movie comes out, and they're still becoming the character.
There was you should be asking yourselves, when's the first gay Superman movie coming out? Because they're going to go for it. It's happening eventually.
Oh, yeah.
What? We already had that. Batman Robin.
It was called
Apollo and Midnighter. I see. I'd be there for that.
I actually would too.
I can see that. Yeah, I'd be there for it.
I mean, none of the old Wildstorm stuff has made it to the screen yet. That's a massive untapped potential, if you ask me.
Have you guys seen my new superhero OC, Barebacker?
I would be all over like a planetary series.
Yeah, planetary was cool.
Unfortunately, he's cancelled.
Yeah, well, unfortunately.
On the Marvel side of things, I want Alpha Flight. I want North Star.
I want Next Wave.
I want a good female character movie.
Considering how many shows actually do take place and are filmed in Canada, it surprises me that they have not done an actual Alpha Flight show in Canada by Canadians. I mean, it just seems like, yes, it makes sense.
I've heard Script Doctor talk about this, and in a nutshell, as bad as the United States movie system is, the Canadian Film Board is 100 times worse. But the best any talented person can do in Canada is to leave Canada and migrate to the United States to get the hell away from the Canadian Film Board. That's how bad they are.
Well, bad in what way exactly? Like restrictive or?
They only approve. They have approval over everything. And was it Call Me a Child talked about it too? Is you basically just spend your entire time filling out forms. And it has to be like, basically pro-Canada. So you have bureaucrats dictating what you're going to do, and it has to fall along the lines of whatever they want to approve.
Ain't that called communism?
Which gets into something going on right now with Canada. Like they're talking about trying to push the Canadian, like it was something like Bill C-11 or C-19, trying to push like YouTube and and Twitch and some of the other platforms like that to prioritize Canadian approved content.
Why?
You know what will happen?
That sounds kind of Chinese, doesn't it?
Yeah, but if that goes through, you know what will happen? YouTube is no longer available in Canada. Sorry.
It wouldn't be that difficult to prioritize different content based on where the user is from.
Yeah.
This cartoon does not follow the party guidelines. Oh, you must cancel this cartoon.
I mean, they already restrict content in different regions already. So it would just be an extension of that. I mean, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be disruptive to to the rest of the world.
The grand
Just bad for the
scheme.
Canadians.
It's easily fixed by a VPN anyway.
And someone was saying we couldn't have the nasty version of Midnighter. Look, if we can have The Boys and have it be a roaring success, we can definitely have the proper Midnighter.
I don't know. You got people
Even
afraid
the boys,
of
though,
offending.
you know,
Fear of
it's
offending.
still a pussified version of what's in that freaking comic, which is
Yeah, it is. The comic is way worse.
It's still good, so don't be a cunt about it.
Also, speaking of Canadian superheroes, does anyone really want to see that? I don't want to see like a superhero called like a villain, a hoser, or something like that.
Give your dick a tug
They
there,
already have
bud.
Captain Canoe head, so
Let's be nice to our Canadian friends because we have some.
No.
The day the rake is coming, Canadians.
But we can all come together with our Canadian brothers and hate the French Canadians.
Yeah.
That is true.
I,
That is true.
I saw a documentary on Quebec once, or what's the city there? Is that the city?
Quebec.
Yeah, whatever. And I hated it. Like I've been to France like multiple times in my life, and it looked like France the theme park. It was just
Oh,
like
geez.
it was like it looked like they were just
Theme park?
pretending to be France. Like it looked like the Disney version of France, basically. It was awful.
a real Canadian superhero would be like Toronto Man, and his power is
Yeah,
he
Montreal.
can tend to be from anywhere else but Toronto.
Played by a new actor every single movie.
Because the last one fled.
Toronto Man and Beaver Girl.
Yep. Oh, something that came across my feed today. And I'm making no money off of this, so it is not to my benefit to notify people of this, because it's just something that's cool and something that people should probably take advantage of if they want to. So I'm not getting paid to do any of this. This is just purely out of the, you guys are cool. You probably want to know about this. No, it's Humble Bundle.
Humble Bumble.
Humble Bundle is doing Rift's Core Mega for 16 days. So you got plenty of time to get in on this, but
No, that's Humble Bundle of Holding.
yeah, it's like, Rift's Core Mega Bundle. They have like all these Rifts, like Ultimate Edition, Adventurer's Guide, all this stuff, Core Book Collection.
Yeah. Well, I just mean you said Humble Bundle. It's Bundle of Holding.
Bundle of Holding. Oh yeah, Bundle of Holding. Yeah.
Was this
But,
bundle approved by the Wizarding Democton? No, I'm curious.
Well, it's Palladium, so who knows? Kevin needed money, I guess, for Christmas, so.
Are these physical or PDFs?
No, they're PDFs. It's all PDFs, but still, it's a lot of PDFs, and it's not a whole bunch of money. I mean, it's like what, $42.40? That's like the price of a couple of books. So you might as well jump on that shit.
The Savage Worlds version, I'm not interested.
No, I don't think he's got the Savage World. I think it's all just the original stuff. But it's pretty nice. It's a nice, gateway to jump into Rift if you're interested in it.
Yeah.
And it's a decent price. I'll throw the link up in the thing. But yeah, the core books, $20, and then you get the source book collection for a bit more. It's up to you. Oh yeah, and apparently they've got like Shadowrun and Blades in the Dark too. Actually, Blades in the Dark I might actually do, just because Mark Reinhagen is playing Blades in the Dark right now. I've never actually played this. Is Blades in the Dark somebody that we like, or do we not like them?
Know. What system is it?
It's OSR, I believe.
No.
Oh no, it's Forged in the Dark.
Well, I know it's Evil Head, so
Apocalypse Engine.
that already gives it like a black mark.
No, never mind. We don't want that.
Yeah.
I've actually never dealt with the Apocalypse Engine, so I don't have any firsthand knowledge of why people hate it so much.
I have Wicked Ones. I played a Wicked Ones game for several weeks, and it is powered by the Apocalypse. It's okay. It's just, very story driven and less mechanics driven.
It's vague and hand wavy.
Yes.
And yeah, at the same time, it's very rulesy. You're
Yeah.
restricted because your character has moves that they can perform, and that's really all that they can do, unless you take massive liberties with the rules, in which case you're not really playing Powered by the Apocalypse anymore. You don't really play a character, rather you play on a meta level, crafting a story with the other people around the table. That's my problem with it. It's not an immersive. Yeah, it's not an immersive inhabit your character sort of game. It takes place one step removed.
David, you're welcome to hop up here and go into detail.
If I want that, I will write a story. So
yeah, that's about accurate. Yeah,
I've got several blog posts saying I don't understand it. I have tried to understand it. I've tried to appreciate it. I can't.
David, I'd like to talk to you about Dungeon World one of these days, because a lot of people said that was a great system.
Dungeon World is the most playable and comprehensible version of the Powered by the Apocalypse stuff. So if you want to give it a try, I would say Dungeon World is the best place to start. It's the closest to traditional roleplay.
And Brian James, I think I could tell you this one in a nutshell. What are they known for? Thirsty stored lesbians, the game that you cannot own and cannot play.
Yeah, they're known for extreme wokeness that makes Wizards of the Coast look reasonable.
Yes.
And being dickish about it and leveraging their market share to censor other game designers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yours truly.
Ooh. Yes.
And ripping off Revolution and Girl Lieutenant very poorly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's basically the fucking setting.
They push people
producing a Call of Cthulhu game while simultaneously shitting all over Lovecraft's
H.P. Lovecraft, yeah.
Yeah, they implicitly try to shove people out of nomination for the Annie Awards by basically shitting all over people, and like it's awful.
Yeah.
Well,
and they're also responsible for Fate.
Well, I don't mind Fate.
Core.
I don't.
But the newer versions aren't so good. Third-party Fate stuff is better. Star Blazer Adventures, that sort of thing. That's much.
I liked Fudge back in the day, so yeah.
I don't know if it was just like the particular like edition or version I played, but I didn't like Fate because I wanted the sense of character progression, and I wasn't really getting in the game I was playing from Fate. So I don't know if maybe that was just on the chance of the game I played, or if that's by design.
No, that is a Fate thing. Your characters tend to start roughly the same power level they're going to stay at.
Yeah. Oh, holy crap! Did you put this up there, Grim? Oh no, Greg put this up there. Ooh, hang on.
Yeah, I just posted. So the Genesis, which is a role-playing game that has its pros and cons, has like 15 books for like $0, and they've had that up for like a long time. So I put that on the.
I bought a bunch of the hard copy stuff when they kind of went out of business, and whether you appreciate the system or not, and I think the second version of the system's pretty good. The world building is.
The layout is fucking insane. Like the layout makes me really jealous. Like how much money did they spend on it? Like
Grim has shown off those books, and they're gorgeous.
It deserved to succeed, and it didn't. I think due to the abortive first edition, and there were some problems with translation into English. But it's well worth getting. Especially
get that link out there. You can get the entire like $150 package for free.
Yeah, let me get that out there.
Put your link out on stream, bud. Come on.
I've already got most of it, but I'm gonna grab it anyway.
I'm gonna grab it.
Also has 2 bundles out right now.
Yes, they do. We do need to talk about them anyway. Yeah, because they still have their holiday bundle up on their Trollord game site, and they have a different bundle that is PDF only, also on DTRPG. So yeah, definitely check both of them out.
The drive-through RPG bundle is like an $80 collection of like adventures and players' guides to their own settings, some adventures. It's a good little variety of stuff there for you. I'll drop a link in the chat.
Okay, do that. I don't have to look it up then. Yeah, Christmas is always a nice time for the gaming companies because a lot of people are giving away their stuff for free. And I do have to extend a thank you and a cool shout out to a company sent me 3 of their modules for free. Mythgarthier, which is I think it's a Canadian-based old school D&D company. What?
That's a boo.
They're cool. But it's Mythgarthier Entertainment. Let me see. Here's their link.
The Canadians are the Belgians of North America.
They're okay.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be French.
Oh, yeah. Warren Ellis is no longer canceled. Well, Grim will be happy about that. So will I.
He's still kind of cancelled.
Can you explain who that is?
Oh my god.
Comics writer, Planetary, Wildstorm, whole bunch of stuff. A lot of indie
No. Like,
comics.
why did it canceled?
You treated being a comics writer like being a rock star, including sleeping with a bunch of women.
Oh, okay.
And
So
hit him in the ass.
Warren Ellis was a guy who's been described as looking like a boiled potato. And he basically, the idea was, in not so many words, he had kind of led a few female comic professionals on that he could get them fame, and
I make you a star, kid. Just suck my dick, man.
Yeah, sort of.
Not exactly. I mean, so I kind of know him a bit, and I think he let the fame go to his head a bit. But girls were chasing him a lot because he's creative and funny.
And he had a bunch of make hits. That's why I was saying he was a rock star, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not properly describing it, but it was something to the effect of he was one of the early Me Too's cancelings.
Yeah, I think you could say he was a bit of a player. On the download, but I think a lot of that came from a lack of personal confidence and so on. So he kind of, when the opportunity came along, he kind of over-applied himself. But they presented it as though he was like sexually assaulting people or something. He wasn't. It was all completely consensual and often, initiated by the women involved. But he was just a bit of a shithead about it, frankly. Carrying on with lots of different women, but that's a thing.
That's Me Too in a nutshell, though.
I think Bill Burr put it best with it is that the one thing they don't prepare you for when you get super successful like Arnold Schwarzenegger is all the gold digging whores.
Yeah.
But Warren himself, like I say, I know him a bit. He's been friendly with my wife. He never came on to her or anything. He's generally a good dude. It's just, I think,
there's that phrase. He's generally a good dude until he fucks your wife. No, he's generally a guy.
Well, you never really know what people are like in private, but
I get drunk and you know him really well.
Yeah. Just wanted to point out this really quick. I bought this from my friend 540 Studios. Jace is one of our panelists. It finally got here, Jace. It took like 4 weeks, I think.
I've got one of those.
So, yeah. Now I have one too. They're kind of nice. They're a little smaller than I wish, but still, now I'm official. So we support our friends.
I do think what happened to Warren was a shame because I subscribed to his newsletter, and before the accusations, it was actually kind of fun. And now there's this air of drudgery around everything where I just feel he's holding back all the time because he's afraid of sticking his head out and just the guillotine going down.
I mean, at that point, you just can't be afraid. You just gotta go out and send that shit. Once they have you afraid to poke your head out of your shell, they've won.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of poking their head out of the shell, hey David, you've been real quiet, man. Are you? Is everything okay?
No, I've just been listening.
Okay. Did you have anything to contribute or anything, or?
No, with the Warren Ellis thing, I'm not too familiar with that.
Oh, before?
No,
it's mostly comic books.
Yeah, I think the name is vaguely familiar, but I didn't know the whole story or anything around it. I'm not too into comic books.
Now,
That's
one
unusual.
comic guy I feel kind of bad about is Neil Gaiman because he went the whole he basically got Will Smithed. Open marriage, and now he's getting divorced.
I don't feel bad for him. Fuck that guy.
It's a trap, dude.
Is he getting divorced? Because I thought that was going to happen and then it wasn't.
Oh, it's not happening. Last I heard, the divorce was going through, unless that changed recently.
I was done with Gaiman after he showed his hypocrisy, because what was it, like 2020 even, when he said, like, when he was defending fans not liking when characters are changed and stuff. He's like, yeah, fans are like, just a fan of that character. They don't want to see it like changed, just unnecessarily. And then Sandman came out and he just completely changed his tune, and he was like berating the fans that were like upset about that and stuff like that. So fuck that guy.
I tried to watch Sandman. I hated it. I didn't like the guy they picked for the lead actor. He sounded annoying as shit. He did not come off to me as I pictured Morpheus in my head from the comics. And definitely when they got what's her name to play Lucifer, I was just like, no.
That was a weird choice. That was a very weird. I was like, that's the most stunning and beautiful man ever. I'm like, well, then why are you here?
Yeah, I was kind of like, you're not even a pretty woman. Why are you here?
I thought that was an okay choice.
Now, hold on. She's charming in her own way, but she's not the most beautiful man alive.
No.
Well, of course not. But I thought that was an okay choice because I was thinking of the Passion of the Christ, where Lucifer was in it very briefly, and he was kind of androgynous. He was like a ephemeral kind of like being. He wasn't necessarily supposed to look like a human or act like one. I thought that was okay, but
I still find it hilarious that the Lucifer TV series is based upon that version of Lucifer.
Yeah, I've found I've seen men that I would be more sexually attracted to than Gwendolyn Christie. So
well, my
problem when you leave it at
being Brianna of Tarth was she was too pretty.
What?
Huh?
Brianna of Tarth is supposed to be like bucktooth, like she's basically like a big hick.
Yeah, she's supposed to be ugly.
With that character, she's supposed to be ugly as.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? All hicks are ugly? Huh? What are you trying to say?
Yes.
I'm saying Gwendolyn Christie's too pretty to be Brianna of Tarth, but they casted her anyways. So.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that they didn't quite get right on game. I mean, because Tyrion was supposed to have his nose cut off and all this other stuff.
Yeah, like the last episode, that entire thing got fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch American Gods? Speaking of Gaiman,
I
liked
did.
The first season, but second season was trash.
I liked all of it. Well, second season was a little weaker than first, but third season was good. I mean, I liked American Gods. I liked it a whole lot, and I was extremely upset when they canceled it because I'm kind of like, shit, it was getting good.
I liked the first season a lot. Second season leaned way too much into the message. It had a very obvious message. Plus, I couldn't stand fucking Anansi or whatever that character is called.
Oh, I loved him though.
Oh no, he was so fucking annoying. Fuck that guy.
I thought he was hilarious.
No.
He's super annoying.
Was he not supposed to be funny?
No, that character was fucking trash. I hated him.
No, but like I look at a lot of these things and I realize, yeah, that's getting old when the people you used to look up to all turn out to either be hypocrites or assholes.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it. Is there anyone in comics I actually respect anymore?
Well, if Gaiman had said this stuff like 20 years ago, okay, people's opinions changed. But he literally said this stuff in 2020, and then like a year or like a year and a half later, he's like completely changing his tune because he gets millions from Sandman, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh no, it's fine to like completely change characters. What are you whining about, you racist?
Well, he's probably got a condo payment coming up or something, so he needed the money.
Of all celebrities I've met, because I've met a lot of celebrities. The only two I actually like in person were Alan Tudyk and Jason Mewes. That's it. Out of the hundreds I've met, there's two.
Well, there was a time when I was really questioning why Jeremy Irons was appearing in some of the films that he was and why over the top he was. I mean, like the Dungeons and Dragons movie in particular sticks out to me. And then I found out he owns a castle in Scotland. I'm kind of like, that's why, because that fucking thing probably costs a lot of money to keep
take
up.
my castle away, Bobby. Give me a roll.
Yeah, I remember they asked Michael Caine once why he did like this really shitty movie. I think it was like Jaws 4, why he was in that, and he's like, well, I had to pay off my swimming pool. So yeah.
No. It was what was it? It's like, no, I've never seen Jaws 4, but I did see that.
They're gonna Nicolas Cage him.
Jaws 4 bought, and it's magnificent.
Yeah.
I asked Henry Rollins why he dies in everything that he's in once. He said, "Man, it's just a job, right? I turn up, I take the money, I do what they tell me to do, and then I go home and I work out."
No, Henry Rollins.
Okay, Henry, that I can respect that.
I can respect that.
No, Henry Rollins, what? Doesn't he have like autism or something? Like he's just very
It's
straightforward.
very intense.
Super straightforward.
Yes.
You guys ever watch that movie with him as like as he's basically like Cain? From
Yes,
the Bible?
that's
That movie-
brilliant.
Yeah, that movie was awesome.
He never died.
Yeah.
Nope.
But the series She Never Died is terrible. Don't bother with it.
You guys have listened to old Black Flag albums, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Big influence on Cyberpunk.
Yeah, big influence on Cyberpunk. Yeah, and more importantly, it's kind of like you understand why Henry Rollins is intense after you hear those.
There's a
And
good
his spoken word stuff is hilarious. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
I was the Henry Rollins show. So.
There's a good YouTube video about him showing Henry Rollins versus the fans. There's like 6 or 7 altercations he has with his fans. He doesn't put up with any bullshit. That's a funny YouTube video if you want to look it up.
I should. And Joseph, you take that back, okay? That goddamn He-Man movie was brilliant, and I loved it to death. Thank you. I was like 12 or 13 when I saw it, so. And I love Frank Langella.
I think I do a pretty good Skeletor.
And I love Roland's rant about electronic music and drugs because it's been sampled in so much electronic music. It's like self-referentially hilarious.
Yes, just a passerby. Lucifer was based on David Bowie.
Rollins and Johnny Mnemonic, that Victor, the Victor Ripper dog in Cyberpunk 2077 is obviously based on that character.
Yeah. He is.
Let me tell you something here, Chooms. That guy?
Yeah.
Poisoning the airwaves because we can't live without this shit.
Yes, it is a canon movie, Joseph. What's your point? I like canon movies. I have fucking Revenge. I have all 3 of the Ninja movies on my shelf from Canon. I have a whole bunch of canon movies on my shelf.
Made awesome movies.
Awesome.
Canon's great.
I always like Canon because the logo kind of looks like the OCP logo from RoboCop.
Yes. What do you think they based it on?
Yeah.
But there are so many TV shows that are in the works that I just am so worried about. It's all stuff that's like my favorite thing of all time. I know they're going to fuck it up.
fucking suck, so that's already a double-edged sword there. I was like,
We got the
Willow. Ah, fuck.
Oh yeah, Willow. That's done.
Oh
but
yeah.
we got the Alien. We got the Alien TV series from FX. That's
Alien
coming out.
TV series. What?
Yes, Alien.
Why are you worried about him?
The
It's
guy
already
who did
dead.
Fargo, so that could be good. It could be. We'll see what happens.
It's already dead.
Remember this
Got
one,
it.
guys?
Yep. You
Got
know
it.
what the really sad part is? Think about it. 10 years ago, when an adaptation was being announced of your favorite thing, you're like, hell yeah. Now you're like, oh god, no.
What are they going to do
Please
to it
no.
now?
No, I don't care what they're adapting anymore. I stopped caring years ago. I just, they're going to do a live action Warhammer. Is it going to be good? I have no idea. I'm not going to give a shit though until it's out and someone says, oh, it's really good. Then I might go check it out. But until then, I just don't give a shit.
The only movie I saw recently that was good was The Menu. Like, The Menu was great because it didn't attach itself to any kind of ideology. It was just a fucking movie, and it was good.
I saw a movie last night. It was called Kung Fu and Titties.
Wow.
Sharks in it.
I mean, hell.
No.
I found out what the fuck
Cage
about.
Runners turned out to be as good as it was.
You do know there's a movie that is in existence that was actually created and put out that was called L.A. AIDS Jabber, right?
Jabber? What incarnation,
Yes.
my brother?
No, it's a real thing. It was released during the heights of the AIDS epidemic. This guy apparently gets AIDS, and he starts he's just drawing his own blood and injecting other people with it, running around.
That's
You know,
it.
DC had a supervillain. You know, DC had a supervillain that did that. He was called the Hemo Goblin.
Really?
Yes. He would bite people and give them AIDS.
I hate how fake that sounds, but also sounds pretty fucking real.
Yeah.
But of course, this is also from the same series that gave us Snowflame, the supervillain powered by cocaine.
I love Snowflame.
Speaking of which, aren't they gonna have like that disco? What's his name coming back? With what's his name playing him?
Who?
The dude from Lando is supposed to be playing Disco something from DC.
Oh,
Or no, from Marvel. It's from Marvel. Disco Blaster or whatever. I don't remember.
Lord
One
have
movie,
mercy on these
I-
robosexuals.
One movie, and I can't say the full title of it. Gay N-words from outer space.
Yeah.
What's wrong with robots?
Gay black robots.
Also,
I remember in the-
DC. Oh, good. See.
I remember in the book How to Be a Superhero. It's hilarious if you can find a copy, but there's like hen's teeth. So good ways to become the Human Torch. It's like be an android, mutation ray from outer space. Bad ways to become the Human Torch. Freebasing.
Didn't work for Richard Pryor too well.
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
But DC also has a character called the Defenestrator, or whatever you pronounce that word.
Defenestrator.
Yeah, it's basically a guy that's
throws
dressed
people through
like
windows?
Arnie. Yeah, he's dressed like Arnie from Terminator, and he's carrying just like a window in the window frame, and he just hits people with it. Or the dog welder, which is a guy that literally just welds dead dogs to people.
Oh my God! Before I think it was before the 30 Years War. There was actually like 3 defenestrations, and they're all listed like the defenestration of whatever abbey, where they literally threw people out of windows and shit in these council meetings. I'm kind of like, this happened so frequently that they had to annotate them, and they became part of history. The third defenestration of, I'm like, Jesus Christ, 3 times. But
Return the paint for Windows. Stop.
Stop throwing people through windows, damn it.
And the medieval period had the highest level of murders in the history of mankind. I
believe it.
I blame all the murder hobos.
Yeah. No, it was obviously toxic males and toxic masculinity.
Have you guys ever heard of the DC hero Braino Excelente?
No.
He's from the same comic. It's basically just a fat, sweaty Mexican man in a trench coat, and his superpower is the power of perversion. And he's just
so it's me, basically.
Yeah, basically, at one point he rapes Lobo. So yeah.
Wow.
Victor, you need to just share the link to the article you found with all the most fucked up characters. So
that's all from a single comic. It's from the Hitman Hitman series with Tommy Monaghan.
I have a couple of the Hitman graphic novels, but I don't remember that guy.
Yeah, it's a superhero team called Section 8, and the leader is basically just a hobo that stabs people with a broken bottle.
I don't remember the Mexican rapist character.
I think I would remember that.
There's a one shot where Lobo goes after Hitman Tommy Monaghan, and he shoots his eye out, so Lobo just has to track him by smell and stuff like that. And at one point he manages to knock him out somehow. And to get Lobo away from Earth, he basically takes pictures of him with Braino Excelente, just dressed and he's in drag and stuff. And they basically use it to blackmail Lobo, so he leaves Earth. So yeah.
Oh God!
Someone tell Jason Momoa before he plays Lobo.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You failed to mention that Dog Welder specifically likes welding dogs to people's faces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dog welder.
There's an actual character named that. I believe it. Oh my gosh. Well, I showed off some stuff while you guys were talking. Did anybody else have anything cool to show off? Or
I do have one thing.
Go, try it. Oh, you got Tannisborg.
Yep, I got my copy of Tannisborg.
What do you think of it?
This is an absolute delight. This is something I've been kind of flipping through a little bit, and it is going on the shelf right beside my copy of Oriental Adventures and Fiendish Folio. This is right in place with all the classic retro stuff.
That's awesome.
I like that.
Something
Tabletopless lady's got me these LED shiny dice.
Oh, those are cool.
Tabletopless lady.
Holy shit! What the fuck? How does that work? Magic.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
But you text when you roll it, and then it flashes for a little while.
But you can't roll those on stream because you use, what is it, D20 or V20 virtual tabletop?
Yeah, well, I've got a second cam now that I can shine down onto a dice roller. So
oh, cool.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
No, it'll be fine.
Speaking of which, this is something that my producer and I we were talking about yesterday because we were discussing the whole D&D ONE fiasco. And I reminded him. I said, "You do remember though that Wizards of the Coast is paired up with what is it? Roll20, and Roll20 is pretty notoriously woke."
Yeah.
Well, aren't all the Wizards of the Coast people super woke as well? Or at least,
well, they are, but see, here's the thing.
Coast woke, and then there's vampire woke.
Well, yeah, but
and there's evil head woke.
Well,
yeah, there's evil head woke.
Wait a minute. Who's your you have a producer? Who's that?
Yeah.
Is that Snortapoopus?
No, Snortapoopus is my is our bear, our chat bear who takes care of
Who's your producer? This is a mystery person. Are they part of this? Like, are they on in the chat?
No, they're not. In fact, they hardly ever watch the episodes, which is kind of sad. But yeah, I put his name up in the credits all the time, Elton Killebrew. But
who's that guy?
That guy is the guy who was nice enough to hand me a wad of cash whenever I first said, I'd like to get into YouTube stuff. And he's like, well, you're gonna need some money to get StreamYard and all that stuff. And I said, yeah. And he said, how much is that gonna cost? And I said, it's gonna be about $400 for a year. And he said, huh. Went in the back, came back with $400. He handed it to me. He said, here you go.
Well, that's nice.
So
yeah.
So T-shirt. I found the Stalewater PDF. Am I allowed to show these dildos on stream or no?
In a world of dildos, now one man will get canceled.
Because remember, they're called immovable rods in the Stalewater.
Oh God.
So basically, chat. Me and Nick Beardia and a few other guys named Teal helped make this D&D 5e adventure, and it's called Stalewater. Where you're trying to stop Belle Delphine from selling her bath water to a village and making them all simps. and yeah, let's see if I can share this screen. How do y'all do this shit? Is it present?
You need to send that over to Grim too, because I would love the
Sure.
I would love the Aerotech crew to have to deal with this.
Let's see.
Hey, I already wrote a module called the Cathedral of Misogyny. So
okay,
yes.
I'm sharing something. Can you all see this shit or no? I can't.
I can.
I've also
Okay, there
stale water.
Okay, so this is called Stalewater, and basically this is for DMs only. But basically, you lead your party through. You're trying to investigate the tainted water system. The whole town's been destroyed and that kind of shit. And there's a random encounter table you can do. It's got all this shit on there. There's the Simps and Giga Simps, which have a hecking clobber attack. They have Devil's Side, magic resistance, that kind of shit. A swarm of Simps, and then like the main manor, where you gotta fight Belle
feet pigs.
Yeah, for feet pigs. And it's a whole thing.
Let me get that quote up real quick.
And then there's Bella Delphine, which is the main big baddie here, who y'all know who it is. Like, there's a map here of like her bath water, her like streaming setup over here. It's
Grim,
very on the nose.
Grim, okay. Guard bro, you will send me a copy of this. Grim, I will pay you to run this. I will pay you to run this for the Aerotech crew. I will do it.
Well,
we
the
have
thing
to
is,
tip
Grim
for the adventure.
Is a Grim.
Okay, I will do it. I will totally pay to get this. I would like to see this so bad.
I'll send you a link. But basically,
Yes.
once you beat Belle Delphine, you'll find an immovable rod inside her. And the rods are these.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. I'm going to save a little bit of Christmas money. I will tip for this adventure, Grim.
The
absolutely.
Mind Layer is my favorite.
I think I've seen Ghoul use the Hooker's Horror.
I have too, I think. Wow.
Yeah. So this is a pretty. I did a quick game on his channel for this, and it runs pretty fun. It's a nice, like, lovely, light kind of campaign you guys go into and play with.
I love how you guys have like professional art for it.
Yeah. So James went full out with this. He went and got professional art done. I'll get you a link real quick.
Yes, please.
And
okay,
it's pretty funny. Yeah, here we go. I think yeah. So on the cover of this is Belle Delphine in her feet pics, covering like weird stains. Here, I'll put it in the chat.
Did they take us off yet?
They took him off.
Yeah.
He's
like
back.
I said, I dropped the link to that in the chat, so if anyone wants to pick it up, they can.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm dropping my tip link into the chat.
But yeah, but
I don't normally ask my audience for tips, but please, if you want this adventure, if you want Grim to run this adventure, I will pay for it. But please throw me a few tips so I can kind of defray the cost a little bit.
But real quick, T-shirt, show him the actual cover of this thing, because he got Belle Delphine drawn with her feet pics on the fucking cover. Shit.
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay, hang on.
But it's got 2 maps, 8 handouts, 5 tokens, a Simp Warlock subclass. He put a whole lot of work in this.
Stale water with the feet pics.
Yeah.
Jeez, one shot.
Mind you, Nick Beardia has also subclasses like the Crack Rogue and other shit. I'm trying to find the shop. So if there's a shop, there's a. I'll find it. Y'all can talk. See if I can find this thing.
My favorite was the Puppet Master Artificer.
Yeah.
I still think my favorite homebrew I ever saw was the Murder Hobo class.
Murder Hobo
Yeah.
class.
So there's like.
I still remember the boggies.
There's the Conspiracy Druid, the Murder Hobo Barbarian, the Facts Don't Care About Your Feelings Bard subclass, the
Facts Don't Care About Your
Feelings Bard subclass. Yeah,
it's Ben Shapiro.
Is
it only available to dwarves?
There's the Gachimuchi Wizard.
Gachimuchi.
Then there's the North FC Fighter. Get some fucking goals, England! He's got all different rounds. Yeah. He's got all these subclasses.
There's also the bank job one shot.
Yeah. There's also the monk crackhead. That's what it was. The monk crackhead.
The monk crackhead.
Yeah. So I want to say they're balanced. They're not, but they are a lot of fun. At least. Yeah, there's a Chris Chan stat block. He's a creature you can put in your campaign as like a monster.
No.
You mentioned balance. Do you want to know a secret? Wizards of the Coast stuff isn't balanced either.
No, it isn't. Oh my god. Yeah. Once again, yeah, it's like if you guys want to help me defray some of the costs, I threw the tip link in the chat. So
we're ready for the Belle Delphine.
Yeah, I gotta see Grim run that because that would be the most hilarious thing ever, I think. So
well, running the Belle Delphine game on like your new D&D, that'd be fucking hilarious, dude.
That's exactly why I think it would. I think it's like a match made in hell. It would be perfect. So.
Don't you have to go soon, T-shirt?
I do have to go. We're gonna have to end on time today because I'm playing Giant Lands with James Ward today, guys.
Yay!
So I'm very excited about it. I've never gotten to play Giant Lands. Second, I've never gotten to play with James Ward. We're talking about the same James Ward who made Metamorphosis Alpha, Gamma World, Expedition to Barrier Peaks. He wrote Deities and Demigods. He wrote Doom on the Warden, and then he wrote the actual Starship Warden. Huge, like 800-page book for Castles and Crusades, which you can't buy anymore.
I think calling it a book is an understatement. That's a tome.
It is. It's a mega dungeon. It's a super mega dungeon. But yeah, that James Ward, the guy who actually used to play with Gary Gygax personally. So I think he's almost. If he's not 80, he's pushing 80. So I'm very lucky to be able to game with him tonight, and I'm very much looking forward to it. It's like a chance to play with a legend. I mean, like he's like one player removed from Gary Gygax. So
Have you made a mask?
I have several masks, but I have not made my own. Oh, come on, John. Don't be mean.
It's like
come
one
on,
of those
giant
lumpy,
lands.
fluffy masks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the tip.
Gimp mask. I'm here to play.
Well,
I love Hitler.
I hope he doesn't. I hope he's not expecting me to be on camera because it's like, no. We don't do that.
On the Gimp mask.
Secret.
Yeah.
You
It's like-
know why? You know what? We should respect Hitler because Hitler killed Hitler.
Well, that is true. That is true. And with that, thank you
on
very
that
much.
note.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Holidays. Yes, thank you very much, Lord Thoth. And we must go. My time is almost up, and we must end on time tonight.
Yep.
So thank you very much for being with us.
Christmas present.
Yes. Thank you for being with us tonight, everyone, and we hope you have a great week in Geek. And I believe we will have a show next week. Let me see, what is next week? The 24th? I will try to have a show. Hopefully we'll have people here to be on it. So, but we'll see. In the meantime, thank you everyone for being here, and take care.
Time for a baller out. Later.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.
How do you
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.